Hi, host Eric here, taking advantage of the scenery to indulge in a solo unedited video. I am going to talk today on the subject of balance. Balance is an issue that I have had some issues with in my life. I have some trouble determining, I guess you might say, a clear, distinct position on it. I, on the one hand, feel as though it's overemphasized in self-development type talk and referencing things like actualization. I feel as though it's overemphasized. However, I also at the same time recognize that realistically, a lack of balance is probably responsible for most of my shortcomings and most of the harms that I experience in life. Today I went over to my father's house and talked to him about my assorted messes, mostly related to my car and not getting that registered and stuff like that, and not having a clear title on it, even though Candace signed it over because I never completed the paperwork. Minor stuff that's not important really in the big scheme of things, but stuff that you got to take care of, And I was very much struck today thinking about it, how not clear it is what to conclude regarding my own behavior in terms of handling stuff like bills and stuff, like car registration. I don't like to deal with that kind of stuff, and when it's unnecessarily complicated, I feel especially unwilling to deal with it. And the reason is, I think I just don't believe in its legitimacy, first and foremost, but also, I just don't. It just seems like such a waste of time. And it seems like such an unpleasant task. It seems so very much like something I don't want to do at all times. So, obviously, that's something I have to cope with. And this morning when I went over to my dad's house and he's like, "Well, let's go to AAA and do it there, and I'll go with you tomorrow if you want to go." And I'm like, "Okay, Dad, that sounds good." I'm a 45-year-old man. It's kind of embarrassing, frankly. And yet, at the same time, one of the things I was thinking today as I was driving around was, well, you know, I think I do a good job of being a person who was born with these kind of parents into this kind of life. Which is to say, I think I'm a lot less entitled in my behavior than I might be. And it's okay to excuse myself a certain amount of this stuff. After all, one one becomes an organism in the ecosystem into which one is born. And unavoidably grows and develops the around the mechanisms and resources in place. So for me, I've been pretty spoiled my whole life. My parents have been there to bail me out of shit and stuff like that. And it's something that makes a person feel potentially less responsible for one's own failures and successes than one might otherwise feel, and or more subject to critiques of entitlement is the main thing from my perspective. Uh, but I mean, it's a hard thing to complain about, right? So that's it for this 5-minute video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy the scenery. It's a very lovely day here in Southern California. And have a great evening. Thanks for watching Talking with Famous People.